The President of Ghana, Nana Addo akufo-addo, has reaffirmed his commitment to ensure that Ghanaians do not experience persistent power challenges, commonly known as doomsday, during his presidency. Addressing this year's National May Day celebrations in Accra, the President assured Ghanaians that all issues related to doomsday have been effectively addressed and they can trust his word on this matter. According to President Akufo-Addo, maintenance work on transformers and other essential infrastructure has been completed. He expressed his gratitude to Ghanaians for their patience during the period. He also acknowledged the challenges faced by citizens during the period of erratic power supply and thanked them for their resilience. President Akufo-Addo highlighted his government's effort to ensure continuous electricity supply and promised not to backtrack on this achievement. He emphasized that his administration had worked tirelessly to keep the lights on for Ghanaians, and he intended to maintain this progress.
Mr. President, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all Ghanaians for their patience and understanding during recent temporary challenges with the electricity supply across the country. Over the period, the issues surrounding maintenance of transformers and gas supply have been successfully resolved, resulting in a sufficient improvement in power supply reliability. Indeed, over the past few days, we have witnessed stable electricity supply across the country, with no load shedding reported anywhere yesterday. For the past 7 years, we have worked tirelessly to keep the lights on, and I am confident that the unfortunate era of doomsday will not return.
President Nana Addo akufo-addo also used the occasion to reiterate his commitment to ensuring a free, fair, and transparent election in December. According to the President, government will provide the Electoral Commission with all the necessary logistics to carry out a smooth election. He added that elections are the cornerstone of democracy, and every one of us has a role to play to ensure that our electoral process is free, fair, transparent, and devoid of violence.
We approach the upcoming elections in 2024. It is imperative that we recognize the crucial importance of maintaining peace and stability throughout the electoral process. Elections are the cornerstone of democracy, providing a platform for the expression of the popular will and for the peaceful transfer of power when required. However, they also have the potential to divide rather than unite, if not conducted in a peaceful and transparent manner. Indeed, the theme for this year's May Day celebration, Election 2024, the role of workers and social partners in securing peaceful elections for national development, underscores the pivotal role that each and every one of us has to play in ensuring that our electoral process is free, fair, transparent, and devoid of violence. Indeed, the destiny of the nation hinges upon the collective actions of workers and social partners to safeguard our democratic principles and uphold the rule of law.
President Akufo-Addo further noted, based on the commitment of the Ghanaian workforce for national development, the least he can do in his last term of office is to honor them and to facilitate the new Labour Act that has been the utmost desire of the unions. He said, Labour issues are some of the most topical and important issues in almost every country. He noted that a new labour law would be passed by the close of 2024 to the benefit of all labourers in the country.
Labour issues are some of the most topical and important issues in any country. Such issues touch on the standard of living of the populace, businesses, as well as individuals and family welfare. It is for this reason that I'm happy to announce that my directive for a new labor law to be enacted has been largely carried out. I can say with certainty that with the cooperation of Parliament, the new Labour Act can be promulgated before the end of this year.
The Secretary General of Trade Union Congress, Dr. Agyapong, emphasized the critical need for action to address the power challenges. Dr. Ba stressed that Ghanaians cannot afford to endure the effects of the power challenges any longer, as it is severely impacting businesses and could lead to widespread unemployment if not resolved promptly. He urged President akufo-addo and the government to take immediate steps to mitigate the effects of the situation.
We are celebrating this May Day at the time Ghanaian workers and their families are grappling with high cost of living and inflation of over 25%. Exchange rate of the cedi is now almost 14 cedis, if not more, to $1, compared to about 4 in 2016. That means workers who earned monthly salary of 1,000 Ghana cedis in 2016 were taking home the equivalent of $250. Today, 1,000 Ghana cedis is only $71 US. The depreciation of the cedi at this monumental scale, that is about 250% depreciation, represents a huge decline in living standards of Ghanaians generally and workers in particular. This is so because of our over-reliance on imported goods such as medicines, refined petroleum products, and food, whose prices are directly affected by the exchange rate of the Ghana cedi in terms of the major international currencies such as the US dollar and the pound sterling. What it means is that if we want our cities to be stable, we should reduce imports and consume what we produce in Ghana. Furthermore, as we all know very well, Ghanaian workers rely on loans to meet very basic necessities such as rent advance and our children's education. And in some cases, we even have to rely on loans for food. Today, we are paying interest rates of 30% to access loans from the banks. In the informal economy, interest rates can even be as high as 50% or even sometimes higher. Our children graduate from the universities and colleges after we have spent so much on them, but they cannot find jobs. And the trouble is that there seems to be no end of this socioeconomic hardship in sight. We were told that an IMF bailout will help, but we know that IMF bailout cannot be a solution to Ghana's economic hardship. The relatively high wage increases we negotiated for workers in the last 2 years have lost their real values. So, comrades, we have a lot of work to do to protect the working people of Ghana. Brother Chairman, let me shift our attention to the theme of this year's May Day celebration.
Mr. Kwabena Boateng of the New Patriotic Party has emerged victorious in the Ejisu by-election, securing 27,782 votes, which accounts for 55.8% of the total votes cast. His closest rival, independent candidate, Mr. Kwabena Owusu Eduomi obtained 21,534 votes, representing 43.3% of the total votes. The by-election saw a spirited campaign, especially between Mr. Boateng and Mr. Duomi, the latter being a former three-time NPP Member of Parliament for the constituency who ran as an independent candidate. Following his electoral victory as the Member of Parliament elect for Ejisu, Kwabena Boateng has underscored the critical need to engage disenchanted members within the new Patriotic Party as they gear up for the upcoming 2024 elections. As the newly elected representative for Ejisu, Lawyer Boateng calls for unity and inclusivity within the party to bridge gaps and solidify internal support ahead of the next electoral cycle.
Tax is for us to go down and then talk to our people. They are our people. They are our people. I do not think that the party is minded, or that me as the MP elect is minded to neglect anybody. Not at all. Political parties are built with multitudes. You need the people. So my task is to go down there and then be with my people, listen to them. Whatever constitutes the disagreement, my job is to make sure that we judge and then find the common grounds that will benefit the party.
In a related development, the national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Stephen Ayensu Intim, has committed to reconciling Kwabena Owusu-Edwumi, the former Ejisu Member of Parliament and runner-up in Tuesday's Ejisu by-election, with the party. He emphasized Mr. Edwomi's significance to the NPP and stated his determination to reintegrate him into the party. Mr. Edwomi, who served 3 terms as an NPP MP for Ejisu, opted to contest as an independent candidate in the by-election. In an interview with the media, Mr. Intim expressed concern about intra-party competition, particularly between 2 candidates from the same party. He urged party members not to celebrate the party's victory, but instead to focus on reconciling Edwomi with the NPP.
Also, Edwomi are splitting and leaving the camp. And personally, as chairman of the party, I'm not comfortable. We should be able to bring them all back to the fold, the party's fold, so that come December 7th, there will be no surprises. We should be able to carry the Ejisu seat with ease, as against what we are going through this evening. So that's my next focus, to make sure that the party is reconciled amongst itself. That's what we are looking at.
So is it that you are going to the camp of Edwomi, try to convince him and his supporters to return to the NPP?
That is the only way out. You don't expect Edwomi to make overtures to us. You don't expect him to do that. So as chairman of the party, I'm going to take that mantle upon myself.
Looking at the people representing Mr. Edwomi here, it seems that he has aligned with the butterfly movement now. Don't you think it will be too difficult for him to retain?
It shouldn't be difficult. It's a matter of, are we going with the butterfly or we are going with the MPP? That's the question they should be asking themselves. And I'm sure they will fall naturally to the MPP.
Now, the issue that people are raising is that the voter album for the NPP is not credible. Is it that you superintend over another election to deal with the issues with the voter album, or what?
The credibility of the album, that issue has not been brought to my attention yet. Because from the national, we don't get involved into the nitty-gritty details of the constituency albums. So if there's anything, we are now going to call for inquiry to find out where there are issues and try to rectify them.
With these issues in the party, it looks like the 2024 election will be a very difficult one for the New Patriotic Party. Aside the Ejisu constituency, what are you doing across the country to ensure that these issues do not repeat itself in the national election?
We have reconciliation committees at every constituency at every region and also at the national, we have reconciliation committees put in place for these purposes. So we will use this machinery to address all issues bordering on disputes and reconciliation before we get into the December general elections.
If there's any lesson that the NPP has learned under your leadership, what biggest lesson has the party learned?
There are always lessons to be learned, but unless can you also point out some of these lessons to me?
Well, I think fractures at the party's front is something that is very obvious.
Party front?
Well, I mean, the reason why people are even going independent, your own people going independent and what have you. My colleague even just mentioned the credibility of the voters album, even at the constituency level and what have you.
I cannot say that all the albums in all the constituencies are foolproof. I cannot stand here and vouch. But it's not widespread. It is not widespread. If you find one or two places where this thing is occurring, doesn't mean all the albums should be rejected and new albums to be recompiled. No.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Madam Shirley Ayoko-Botry, has called for the implementation of policies to engender a transformative environment for enhanced trade and investment that she said would enable Commonwealth members to reap prosperous and mutual benefits from integration and participation in global and regional supply chain as well as multilateral trade. Madam Ayoko-Botry made this statement at an economic dialogue in Accra, jointly organized by the Ghana Investment Promotion Center and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration on the theme Navigating the Changing Landscape of International Investment Agreements. According to Madam Ayoko-Botry, the transformative policy would even be a model for the World Trade Organization for the synergic mix of regional and multilateral trade integration. The Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration Minister explained that governments, through digital innovations, had eased the burden of doing business and investing in the country by streamlining processes to provide faster and convenient services to people. She encouraged investors to continue to put their money into Ghana's agriculture and agribusiness, manufacturing and industry, ICT and automobile sectors where mutually beneficial opportunities abound. The Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Investment Promotion Center, Mr. Yofi Grant, also indicated that to enhance support for investors and attract high-quality sustainable investments to Ghana, the center had become more proactive to investor sentiments. Mr. Yofi Grant stated that through a World Bank assistance under the Ghana Economic Transformation Project, the country had developed a corporate investment promotion strategy and business plan. The plan, he said, had been aiding GIPC in defining and optimizing its partnerships with stakeholders while adapting and expanding its activities to provide relevant and comprehensive services to investors.